So, are we live? We are live. We are live. Right. Okay. Oh wow, there's... Okay. I need to sound check a second. Okay, right. This is Mental Monday, the big friendly conversation about mental health with me, Jake Symons. We've started slightly earlier. As you can see, it's not 7 o'clock here. And that is because we are trying a new thing, which is called Restream. And this actually allows us to stream to multiple platforms simultaneously. So currently I'm on Twitch and YouTube. And I am going to now check both platforms because I have never used this actually before. So this gives me an opportunity to actually check both platforms and just make sure everything is working as it should be. I do want to obviously put Mental Monday out in more places. And we are live. We are live. We're live on YouTube. Is there sound on YouTube though? I'm going to keep talking so I can quickly sound check. Okay, we're live. We're live on YouTube. Are we live on Twitch though? I've not actually done this before. This is the first time I've actually managed to use this. I've been talking about doing it for a while because I've really wanted to actually kind of share Mental Monday with more people really. And I'm going to keep talking because I need to go onto my Twitch channel, and what you can hear in the background is someone shooting something. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Twitch. Yep, it works. It works. I'm so happy that we've actually we've got it working. It's working. It's actually working. Oh wow. I wasn't expecting it to be so easy. I thought there'd be like some setup and like some various like other things I'd have to do, but no. No, we're live. We are live. Okay. So, there we go. We're live right now. This is. I never thought we would just do this, like, because I literally decided to do this at 6:40, which is 20 minutes before Mental Monday begins, and I need to obviously put the camera in the right place because I can't see myself. So we're live. Brilliant. This is really good. Okay. I need to change some things here. Do something like this. Alright, let me just do a Twitch sound check. Okay, sound check's done. I'm going to allow a couple of minutes for people to start. But thank you so much for coming and watching Mental Monday. The first Mental Monday on Twitch. And we've been doing Mental Monday for about 2 years now on YouTube. And this is the first Twitch Mental Monday. Actually... I'm really, really happy it's worked. You'll have to forgive the hair. I'll do a full introduction in when we're actually meant to start. I'm just going to actually make sure that the stream is working as well as it should be. Unfortunately, because the only webcam I have right now is on my phone, I can't do slides and other kind of nice changes and a nice intro and a nice outro and all that jazz. I can't actually do any of that, so I'm just stuck with pressing live and it records and we're live. That's how it works. So, yeah. Let me just get everything set up. My end. And then we can start. This is actually really, really good. Actually, the way that this is set up so fast. Alright, I think we're good. I think that is it. So, anyway, if you do want to talk to me, I can still see the chat everywhere. I currently don't have an easy way of viewing the chat, so I've currently got a whole bunch of tabs open that I'll be flicking between on one monitor while the stream's on another. It's the only way I can figure out how to do it so far. If there's an easier way of actually monitoring multiple chat, because I need to thread in Twitter and Instagram as well. So if you know of a quick way of actually having like all these different things without doing something custom, which it probably needs. Eventually we'll like invest in this and we'll do something custom and it will be really good. But for now, we've just got 5 tabs open and we're just swapping between those. Again, forgive the hair. It has not been cut since August. Hopefully it will be cut on April. This month even. It is April. and we're still in a lockdown. Yeah. Really good to have everyone here. We start at 7, so if you're wondering why I'm just waffling on and drinking, it's because we're not actually meant to have started yet. We start at 7. It's just that I want to make sure everything's working and it stays working, ideally, throughout the whole show, because it's really, really important. Yeah, the hair is gonna just be annoying, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, we are live. We're good, I think. I'm just frantically checking everything because nothing's broken, and there's the usual tech gremlins have not shown up. We normally get them if you watch some of the YouTubes. Not recently, but maybe towards the start of this year. Actually, we had a lot of tech problems on YouTube, and various things with the stream. We normally start like 10 past by the time it's done. Obviously, clocks have gone forward actually. So we are now in a different time, so it may be slightly earlier for you. Yeah, slightly earlier. Would it be slightly earlier or later? But yeah, it might not be at the usual time because obviously clock change here in the UK. So there we go. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. As I say, I am flicking through all the comments. So if you do want to reach me, and I'm going to repeat this in the introduction, which is why I didn't want to plug it too early, you can reach me in the YouTube chat, in Twitch chat, on Twitter at Jake S. Writes, and on Instagram, Jake_Symons. Or by email, jake@jakesymons.com. All of which I'm actively monitoring. If you message me during this, I may read it out. So if you want to talk to me privately, which you can do, and obviously, you know, not every message is, you know, it's all confidential and that. But if you do want to message me and you don't want me to kind of use it in Mental Monday, just message me after. That's probably the safest option, because I may just read out your message and that wouldn't be good. So yeah, let me just get my kind of bullet points up. This is normally unscripted, so I'm going to kind of do a longer introduction, which is why I might actually start now, and do a longer introduction for the Twitch people who you wouldn't have seen this before. Mental Monday. Like, what is Mental Monday? So, why is my title Mental Monday Live? That is not the title. It's Mental Monday, Mental Health Live. And the go live notification is... I need to change this. I have to apologise in advance that Twitch is Overlord Jake and not my name. This is my gaming name, as you should know. So yeah, but oh well. Alright, we're going to start early because we've got a big introduction to get through for everyone on Twitch that is just joining us and wondering what Mental Monday is, as you're seeing it for the first time right now. Let's get into it. Welcome to Mental Monday. This is the big friendly conversation about mental health with myself. I'm Jake Symons. For the next half an hour, so until about 7:30, we'll be having just that, a big friendly conversation about mental health. If you're here for the first time, and if you're on Twitch, you are. This is an unscripted conversation. I've got a few bullet points to go through, but we can discuss anything you want in the chat. As a mental health advocate, obviously, you can message me after on my socials. This is where I plug them. So actively, I am monitoring right now YouTube, Twitch chat, Twitter at Jake S. Writes, Instagram Jake_Symons, email jake@jakesymons.com. I also have a Snapchat, which is at Jake S. Writes. You can hit me up on Snapchat, or you can just message me on, say, Reddit even. I've got a whole list of socials in the description below. If you do want to reach out to me and you do want to discuss anything, there is the place to do it. I pick normally most of them up daily. So, yeah, do message me. I will pick it up. As always, there's not really any house rules here. As a mental health stream, no, it would be nice if we could avoid triggering topics such as, self-harm, suicide, graphic descriptions of eating disorders, etc. The usual. That's purely because I can't help you via this stream, so it's not really a therapy session as such. But if you are upset by anything you see, or hear even, you should speak to someone. Obviously, if you've got someone around you, that's great. If you don't, the Samaritans are there on 116123 or Childline 0800 11 11 if you're under 18. As always, do get involved. Come say hello. I don't read messages. I do read messages out normally, but if you don't want me to read your messages out, just let me know, because otherwise I'll probably read it out if it's during the show. As always, reach me after the show. There we go. That is the introduction. So if you're on Twitch, a bit of Mental Monday history, very briefly. Mental Monday has been going since 2018. It originally started as an extension to my mental health blog, which is jakesymons.com, which is just my name. And that is in the description as well, or it should be. Although you don't have a description on Twitch, do you? It's not showing anyway. But this started as an extension to my mental health blog to actually allow me to talk about mental health, because I love talking about mental health, which is why I do these and have done for like 2 years. And they're just a chance for me and you guys to actually talk and say hello and kind of, all that kind of good stuff. Just a bit of kind of a check-in and chat, really. Like we were doing this over a cup of tea even, although I have some water instead. But we've got a lot of kind of stuff to talk about, a lot to kind of go through today, because Mental Health Awareness Week is coming up, which is why I wanted to trial this on Twitch as well. And I'll talk more about that later on. But mainly, this is just a chance for me to talk about my mental health, and as I've always said, it's more of a therapy session for me than anything else, and it's a chance for me just to get out there what's kind of been bottling up for the last 2 weeks, and what's kind of going on in my life, and kind of how that can relate to you, to show you you're not alone. There are people out there that care and will listen, and just to kind of encourage you to seek support and just be open, really, about mental health. And we kind of had a bit of a break because I went through a bit of a rough patch in 2019, and we kind of suspended Mental Mondays then, and then we restarted them in May of last year for Mental Health Awareness Week, and we went down to every 2 weeks, which is a lot more manageable for me, because I have a higher workload normally, and it's also a lot better for interaction, because there's a lot more to talk about. And doing them every week, it was like, well, there's not really many people actually on the stream back in the early days, and there's still, it's still quite a niche community. It's still quite a nice small community here, and I like that, because it actually gives me a chance to get to know everyone a lot closer. But yeah, that is it. That is the history. Welcome to Mental Monday, the big friendly conversation about mental health. Welcome, hello. I'm really happy that we're doing this. I'm really excited for this kind of Twitch YouTube stream. I'm really hyped for it, actually. As you could probably tell, I am energized. And yeah, so I'm going to start off with the usual question, which if you're on YouTube you'll know, and you're probably answering in the chat right now, is how are you? How's your last 2 weeks been? How's it going? I'll start off with me. It's been alright. I've had a lot of work on, although it's kind of picking up this week, actually. I've got a lot more kind of going on at work. Obviously, I run a marketing agency, so there's always stuff to do, which is lovely. But yeah, there's a lot to do in terms of a website redesign, and just kind of getting out a lot more pages, and just, all that kind of good marketing techie stuff that is kind of been taking a lot of my time, mainly in planning rather than actually doing. And I always, planning is kind of, it's one of those things where I'd rather be making something, I'd rather be doing something, but, planning has to be done, because that's how you actually make sure what you're doing is good. So it does have to be done, but for the most part, it's mainly because it's just chance for me to kind of talk about work-life balance, actually, and this wasn't something I was planning on talking about, because that was good, actually. It's been good the last few weeks. I've actually made time and, play some games. I've actually streamed Fortnite, actually, on here a couple of days ago, I believe. It was last week sometime. Yeah, it was last week sometime. And that was fun. And it's just a nice chance to chill out and have some fun. And yeah, that's been good. But obviously coming into a busy time, it's when the work-life balance kind of goes south. I'm trying to enforce it because I see now that I've tried to enforce myself more. And I've spoken about this in the last couple of Mental Mondays on YouTube as well, which is more how I've been focusing more on like taking that time for myself and actually just kind of actually having that time and that space and kind of enforcing it, saying, right, that's enough work, you've got to stop now. And I felt better for it. But now coming into a busy time, it's all going out the window. But, hopefully this is a short-term thing. And, I do know now the benefits, and I've seen them because I've felt them. So if there are kind of moments, hopefully now I do have that time to be able to kind of take a step back and kind of just say, right, mental health, prioritise. Keep it as a priority, keep it high as a priority. And hopefully that works a lot better. But we'll see how it goes. I'm sure I'll update you about how my last 2 weeks has gone, because that will hopefully be the end of the website redesign, and then all the stress kind of just will go. And then there's always a high level of stress. There's always going to be, trying to run a business in a pandemic. It's, I'm not expecting it like not to be. It's just you've got to prioritise mental health, and it's just about prioritising things, I think. And I think that's what I'm learning, and I think that's kind of how I'm growing. And this kind of, especially over the last few weeks, is what to prioritise, what's important to me, and that is, taking time for myself and actually looking after myself a bit more, and kind of my personal life, and kind of just sorting myself out really, and not just being just kind of stuck in get up, work, do something else, sleep, repeat, and trying to actually build that life both personally and obviously not just about work, and kind of separating the two and building both separately as well. Because that's not really something I've been focusing on. In terms of my personal life, I've been so busy like building my work, I've just not thought about how do I build myself as a person, and that's definitely somewhere where I'm actually focusing on, and somewhere where I'm moving into it now, is moving myself away from the everything's about work, but actually you've got a life. There's got to be a time when you're actually living and enjoying it. And I think that's what I'm really learning, and what the last kind of couple of weeks have shown me. So that's how my couple of weeks have been anyway. Do let me know how yours are. As I say, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube or Twitch, whatever you're watching on, or even email if you prefer emails. Feel free to write to me via email if you do that. But yeah. There we go. I'm going to just kind of take a natural pause here to just kind of reflect on some of the stuff that's going on. We try and cover, as this is live, what's going on in the news. So obviously there was a press conference at 5 PM today, and Boris then confirmed that personal care shops, pubs and all the other stuff is going to reopen. Well, not all the other stuff, but the kind of the stuff that's opening on the 12th of April. And how is your anxiety about the lockdown release? How are you feeling about that? Are you excited to get back, or are you worried about getting into the new routine and that? I'm kind of on the fence on that one, and I have to be honest here. I'm kind of really looking forward to getting back and seeing everyone again and that. But I don't know. I feel like it's been such a long time. I get very anxious about doing new or unfamiliar things, and that mainly comes down to autism and routines. And you have this routine, and then obviously it gets, because of COVID, routine completely gets upturned. But then you kind of settle into this new routine, and I have done for the last year. So to kind of go back to the old routine, although it was my routine before, and getting up and going to work, etc. I don't know how I would feel about kind of regaining my my physical social life, and you know, actually going out places to see people, and you know, getting the train and all that stuff, which seems so commonplace, and you know, I was fine with. There's a little hesitancy there, and I just think that's because, you know, I haven't done it in a while, and obviously I overthink things a lot, and I'm just gonna just adapt into it normally. But there is a hesitancy there, and you know, it's important to be aware of, you know, how we're feeling. Just because we think that, oh, we've done this before, it should be fine. Actually, if we listen to ourselves, is it fine? Is it really? And you know, being honest with yourself and saying, actually, you know, there's something there. There's something that doesn't feel quite right. Actually, really helps. And just being aware of that. So I thought I'd share that because you know, if you're feeling the same way, that's okay, and you don't. I mean, it's made to be some big exciting thing that we get back to normal, and of course it is, and of course I'm excited for it. But there is also an underlying anxiety there, and you know, you can feel both. You can be happy and excited, and then also be anxious at the same time for the same thing. So it is possible, and it's difficult to explain. So I'm not really going to try and kind of go into how that's possible, because it just is, and that's about as specific of an explanation I can give you. But actually, it is important to talk about. You know, feelings aren't just like, you know, binary. They're not just you feel excited or you feel anxious. They're really complex, and actually that's why, you know, talking about them actually helps rationalize and kind of, you know, process what we're feeling, and actually kind of share what's going on, really, and just kind of, you know, understand ourselves a bit more. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about it all. But how are you feeling about it all? Do let me know in the comments. Just say how you're feeling. Just running a quick look through them now. But yeah. And now this is a kind of the halfway point. We've been streaming like 22 minutes, but we've only really been going 10. But I did want to talk about Mental Health Awareness Week. And this is why I'm live streaming to Twitch, because I want to have the biggest Mental Health Awareness Week that we have had. This would be our third Mental Health Awareness Week, because we did 2019, which was body image, and we talked about kind of eating disorders and how people aren't kind of the stereotypical kind of, when you think about anorexia, the, you know, skinny white girl and all that kind of stuff, and how there's, you know, it's very kind of exclusive to others, and it kind of excludes them, and yeah, so we talked about body image, how it, and kind of some of the research behind that the Mental Health Foundation did. And then we were going to talk about sleep, but they changed the theme because of the pandemic in 2020 to kindness. And we spoke about how kindness helps you, and how, you know, kindness obviously helps others. And also about how when you're being kind, and this is especially true for mental health advocates, so I'm looking at you when I say this, is to prioritise your own mental health as well, because you are just as valuable as the people you are helping. So, you know, don't just go all into, I'm going to save the world, which is, I think, a lot of people in the mental health community, and I see this, and I myself was one of these people that are like, you know, on a one-man crusade to kind of just go in and just be like, yeah, I'm going to help as many people as I can, and I'm going to talk to everyone, and I'm going to accept every friend request, and I'm going to just be that guy, the Mr. Mental Health. And that kind of, the real kind of, yeah, it's not, yeah, that's not how it is. You know, you do have to prioritise your own mental health, and you do have to obviously prioritise self-care, and, you know, you are a valuable person. You should be there for yourself as well. And that is, you know, looking at you, mental health advocates, looking at you. But then there's also this year, which is nature and the outdoors. And this is a theme I absolutely love, because I have spoken about it so much already. Honestly, this is probably the most, along with self-care, probably the most, the largest topic even that I've actually covered. It's definitely the one I've gone most in depth with. And And I just love talking about this. I really do. I'm always on Twitter, and there was the Samaritans Run in 2019, and I also did some stuff with the On Survey, which was their campaign where I recorded a video and put that on Twitter for a kind of why getting outdoors helps mental health. And I was looking back at some of those videos actually, and I was so young because it was 2019, and I was like speaking very like, I guess like a baby, because I kind of was back then. But yeah, I just couldn't get over how I looked so young. I'll probably retweet something about how it might. If I can get my words out, I'll probably retweet one of the older videos just so you guys can see how young I actually look. Though if you dig through my Twitter account, you can probably find it faster. But yeah, nature, outdoors, mental health. I couldn't be happier with this topic, to be honest. This is probably the one I would ask for. That and kind of stuff that's covered by Time to Talk Day about how to, like, you know, reduce the stigma and have mental health conversations, which is something I've covered on my blog as well, where I've talked about how to actually have a mental health conversation and that kind of stuff. But it's just really good to actually talk about being outdoors, because, and this is where I get into the content. I know that was such a long introduction, but we are going to get into the content now. I know that was such a long link. I do apologise. But there is evidence from the Mental Health Foundation, and we are going to talk about this, that getting outside is beneficial for mental health. And obviously lockdown has provided us all with an opportunity to get into nature more and take our government-sanctioned exercise. And, you know, just take a walk the dog, you know, walk some new routes, see, you know, things, go places we might not have walked before that are just round the corner. Nature has always been helpful for me for many reasons. Firstly, because it helped me get away from it all. So when I was going through low moments, and this is still true today, I find going outside, taking a walk, just putting space between myself and the problem, both physically and mentally, by, you know, just taking a walk in the woods, for example, where I've got other things to look at, other things to see. I've got, you know, alone, apart from, you know, the odd dog walker, you're relatively kind of quiet and peaceful, and it's just a place where you can, you know, be yourself and be alone and have chance to think, you know, with your own head, and just, you know, sometimes you don't get that. Sometimes we live in very busy environments. You know, we might be have a loud home environment. We might have kind of, you know, a lot of stress at the office. But even just taking a walk, just at lunchtime even, just so helpful. Just to kind of take that processing time and just have that for yourself to say, right, I'm alone. I can have this time just to think for myself. I can take a walk. I can just take a break, and I can just think, and I can just be, and, you know, that kind of imagery of being present and in that moment is something that's really powerful, and it's difficult to explain. And I don't want to become too wishy-washy about it, because it often gets, you know, be present and be spiritual and be kind of in the moment. And I don't really know how the best way of kind of getting that across without, you know, sounding like some kind of, you know, one of these wishy-washy spiritual people. But it is valuable, and you can really feel it. And I think that's the most important thing to say, is that you can really feel it. And, you know, it's always been my escape. It's always been, and I've written about this before. In a lot of my fiction work, I talk a lot about being outside. There's an unpublished piece called Going Underground, which is about two kids that have a den in the wood, and they go there to escape their abusive father. And it's a lot of kind of there's just a lot that has helped me, and I just I'll talk more about it, and I will be more specific when it comes to Mental Health Awareness Week. But we are planning for it now, and we are planning to talk about how nature is comforting and how it helps us all. And yeah, so Do you have any ideas of what we could do for nature? How I could really get the most of this theme? Now, one of them, which we know works, is stream to Twitch as well. Now, this one we know works because we're right on Twitch right now as well as YouTube. And I'm just doing this for a restream. Mental Monday's only half an hour, so I can do it on the free plan because it comes under the hour limit. At that point, you know, you've got to pay, which is fair enough because you are using their stuff. But actually, I want to have the biggest mental health awareness week yet that we've ever done. So what could we do? What could I do? And I hope to have this finalised by next Mental Monday, which is on the 26th of April. So I want to talk about it's on the... I forgot to mention that Mental Health Awareness Week is the 10th to the 16th of May. Yeah, I should have mentioned this at the start. So now we come to kind of the planning stage. I need to have everything finalised by about the 26th of April, which means that everything kind of can go live the final week of April, ready for the second week in May. And that's kind of normally how I roll with it, because that is the easiest way of managing anything that changes, anything that goes wrong, and just really helpful to kind of have everything in advance. So I normally start planning in kind of now, and I have been, and I'm going to talk through that in a moment. But just any ideas that you have anywhere for what we could do, how we could make Mental Health Awareness Week this year the biggest we've ever done. Obviously, we've got to think COVID, because it's May, so, you know, COVID secure preferably would be a good idea. Now, I'm going to talk about my plan, because we normally do 5 content days, which is Monday to Friday. So last year, we are basing this year straight off last year. So the theme's nature. So obviously on day 1, we'll have an introduction to MHOW, why we need awareness, why we need nature, why the theme was chosen, and how I'll be covering it, and kind of my initial thoughts about it. Then on day 2, I'll be doing a really kind of personal blog post and video about how nature's helped me, and I will be a lot more clearer than I was live, because obviously this is unscripted. You know, the words don't always come out, but I'll be talking in detail about my thoughts on nature on day 2. Then I'll discuss some of the research, because the Mental Health Foundation often produce a big PDF file, and these can run up to, like, you know, tens of pages. So I try and digest that into a nice blog post with just the key points taken out, because, you know, that's probably how you prefer to consume the content rather than reading the PDF. It just seems like, you know, if I take out what stood out to me and why, you know, you are reading this because I thought it was valuable, this is why I thought it was valuable, this is why I think you should know it too. I just feel like that kind of content style works a lot better than just, you know, giving you a link to the PDF, say. But obviously it will be there to read if you are one of those people that like reading PDFs. And also on day 4, I'll be sharing your stories of nature, and I'll be using the heightened awareness and the heightened traffic, and, you know, the buzz around mental health as always is generated at Mental Health Awareness Week to actually talk about other mental health things. And now, as I always say, you know, mental health is something that should be spoken about all the time. And that's not to say, you know, it should be one of these drilled in conversations that we have. How is your mental health today every morning? But just the space should be there all the time. So when, you know, I say mental health should be talked about all the time, I don't mean, you know, banging on about mental health all the time, because I feel like that becomes repetitive and that actually weakens the message. But creating the space to talk about mental health all the time. So, for example, not doing anything that may make people uncomfortable talking about their mental health. Although you can't walk on eggshells, and, you know, if you do something, you just, you know, you don't know that you're going to be able what is or is not going to make the space for mental health, and I do appreciate that. But just thinking about, you know, if someone tells you they're not, like, you know, they've got mental health and that, you've just got to be a bit kind of more concerning, more kind of caring, more comforting. That's not to wrap up in cotton wool. It's just to allow for an extra space. And it's difficult to explain, and I have done a blog, and I'll talk more about it probably on next Mental Monday, and I'm just going to make a note so I actually remember to do that. But I do want to actually talk next Mental Monday about how to kind of make space for mental health without becoming very Kosovo-y, because what tends to happen is it goes two ways. It's either, oh, I don't care, I'm not interested, and you get a negative reaction, which then obviously makes you feel worse, or you get are you okay every 5 minutes, and it gets repetitive and boring very fast, and it doesn't help anyone. So actually finding that middle ground where you create the space all the time. There should be space to talk about mental health. There should be a space if you need to, but actually you don't have to take that space all the time. Just knowing that your friends are there for you if you were to say, I'm not feeling well today, and knowing that they would be caring about that, and knowing that they would react positively, and say, all right, mate, anything I can do? Do you want me to come around for a cup of tea? Something like that. Do you want to talk about anything? Do you want me to listen, even if I don't know how to respond back? Stuff like that. And that kind of setting that space is far more important than, just banging on about mental health all the time. So, talking about mental health, much more important as a kind of a concept of being able to than actually doing it all the time, if that makes sense. And I'll talk more about this in the next kind of video, which will be on the 26th, as I mentioned. So, and then on day 5, we'll do a roundup of other mental health advocates, because I always like to showcase, there's so many amazing people in the mental health community, and I do like to showcase them on the blog, and I do like to talk about what other people are doing, because, my content is not the only perspective, and I try and keep my kind of focus very narrow and say, everything I do is from personal experience and personal experience alone. So everything I talk about on Mental Monday, everything I write about on my blog is all personal to me. It's all mine, and other people have different experiences. They've gone through different things, and they feel different things. And accepting that, everyone's feelings are valid, and, sharing other people's feelings so you, as kind of my audience, can get other perspectives that aren't just my own, which is really something that, I should be doing a lot more of, is actually, this is my perspective, but other people see this differently. Here are those people, go listen to them, go see how they see it. So not like, trying to interpret what they're saying as my own, which is why I don't say regurgitate kind of other blogs on Mental Monday, for instance, but I just link to them and say, this is a blog, was a good read, this is its perspective, go read it for yourself, see what you think. And creating that kind of open space. And I think open space is important with mental health. It's all about creating the space and creating the environment where it's not something that is just being banged on about all the time, and it's not something that's being talked about and shoved down your throat, but it's something that's just there and accessible, so that if you need to talk to someone, if you are feeling low, there is space and there are people to do that with. And that is what awareness for me means, is creating that space, creating mental health to be something that is a norm in our lives, that we are able to actually say, I have low mental health right now, and make it better. And having that support group is so important. Obviously, there's, the professional help out there, which is separate, and that's not really something we talk about here. But having your support group, and on the day-to-day, your mates to text, is so important for mental health. And I just really wanted to share that. And I'll definitely be talking more about kind of support groups and kind of, like peer-to-peer support and, just being with your mates, really, next episode. But there we go. Any ideas, let me know. Please do. Other than that, I've really enjoyed today. Being live on Twitch for the first time. Went smoothly as far as I can see. As always, you can reach me after the show on Twitter at JakeSWrites, on Snapchat at JakeSWrites again, on Instagram, Jake_Symons, and on all other socials, Jake Symons. Just, they're all linked in the description. Thank you so much for coming. This was Mental Monday, the big friendly conversation about mental health. I've been Jake Symons, and I will see you all on the... Ooh, nice voice crack. a voice crack to finish it. It's brilliant, isn't it? But I've been Jake Symons. It's been an absolute pleasure being live on Twitch and YouTube for the first time in Mental Monday history. And I look forward to seeing everyone again on YouTube and Twitch for another episode of Mental Monday, the big friendly conversation about mental health. If you've got an abbreviation for that isn't like the one I had before, please let me know, because it's kind of a long title. But this has been Mental Monday, Mental Health Live, and I will see you all on the 26th of April. Bye, everyone.